So welcome Theo to our small tech talk for the VMG2, and yeah, we got some questions from customers and we will try to answer them as good as possible.
Yeah, thanks Benny for taking time to answer these questions. Maybe you could start by explaining us the most technical aspect of the VMG.
The VMG is mainly designed to go to the Olympics 2024. So we registered the kite 2020. Yeah, so the most important or biggest changes compared to all existing kite concepts on the market is the amount of bridle we have on the VMG. So we only have A and B level, and therefore we have some glass fiber rods inside of the kite to basically have or make the kite fly with only two bridle levels, which was the main goal, to decrease the amount of drag coming from the bridles. Other point is to get a little bit of camber still in the profile under high loads for going downwind, because they still have a little bit of flex. But yeah, other than that, they're not really big advantages, I would say.
Okay. How many millimeters in the bridle length makes a difference in racing? For example, in asymmetric kites, or yeah, explain us.
So at FLYSURFER we try to keep everything as close as possible to the 3D length coming from the computer, and I would say we manage between plus minus 5 millimeters on every single bridle, measured from beginning of mixer to canopy, and I think plus minus 8 to 10 millimeters in symmetry and also on single lines is for sure doable, and you will not really feel any difference in performance with 8 to 10 millimeters.
Okay. Some people were also wondering about the PMAs. Can you explain us why they're here and how to use them?
Yeah. So the PMAs are, or PMA is standing for Profile Momentum Adjuster. So you can change the reflex and the camber of the profile itself. And yeah, it's actually a small knot ladder with 3 knots. And when you tighten it, for example on the VMG, we only have it on the top sail. You can find it on every rib where there is a glass fiber rod near the top sail, and so you can only increase the reflex of the profile on the VMG. And yeah, you can basically trim the kite if you have an asymmetric flying kite, like a little bit asymmetry, like if it's like completely crazy, it has to be because of the bridle. But if not, then you can adjust it with the PMAs. If the kite is flying to the left, for example, you can pull the last 2 PMAs on the right wingtip, and I would only use them if you have an asymmetric flying kite and the bridle is fine in symmetry.
Okay. And do you have to adjust the bridle length also when you use the PMAs, or no?
No, there is no point of changing the bridle length, because we only have A and B bridle, which is only affecting the angle of attack on the kite, so there is no need.
I also personally used it on some kites where I had some issue with wingtip closing during jives, or yeah, mainly, and this helped quite a lot.
Yeah, so the PMA is making your profile more stable, so you will get more reflex, and where you want to have more stability, so especially on the wingtips, for example, if you have issues with closing wingtips, you can pull the PMAs on the top sail, and it will get a lot better.
Does the kite get heavier because of the rods, and if so, does it still perform as good in light winds?
Yeah, the kite is getting heavier, but compared to the overall weight of the kite, which is occurring anyway, it is not that much as you would think of. So it's only around 5% of the overall weight of the kite, and yeah, we have still the 6 knots of wind limit measured on a drifting boat. So if you get in this wind range, the weight of the kite is not affecting the performance. You have even more advantage from the bridles, from the low amount of bridles and drag performing in this wind range.
Could you remind us where we can find the information to know how to trim the VMG?
Yes, go to FLYSURFER.com and go to the product page of the VMG. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you will find downloads, and there is the VMG trim guide. And this is basically an Excel sheet to download for everyone. And in this Excel sheet, there is also a small explanation how to measure, under which load, and yeah, you can find it there.
Perfect. Could you give us a little taste of what to expect in the future for the VMG?
I think we can expect more titles, maybe even a world title or a title at the Olympics. So yeah, we keep on developing for sure, and we keep on pushing the limits.
Sounds good.